Best tips for tenant eviction in Kansas City with Ryan Goyer and Royal Gate Management. Avoiding eviction is the goal of every Kansas City landlord and property manager. Evictions are time-consuming, expensive, and not to mention an unanticipated vacancy. One of the best ways to avoid eviction is with a rigorous tenant screening process. If you take the time to properly screen your tenants, you can usually decrease the chances of eviction. However, even excellent tenants run into financial trouble from time to time, and you need a process in place to help handle late rent and, if necessary, eviction. Timing is very important when you're dealing with a tenant who hasn't paid rent. You need to act right away in order to protect your home and your financial interests. Now, the first day that rent is late is the day that you need to start planning for eviction. Even if your tenant ends up paying, starting the process right away will ensure that you don't fall too far behind in removing the tenant who doesn't pay. You cannot allow your emotions to make decisions for you. Tenants will have a heartbreaking story as to why rent is late. But you need to enforce your lease and protect your investment. Partial payments. Now, you never want to accept partial payments because when you're filing for an eviction or trying to collect late rent, by accepting partial payment, you are halting the eviction process. You'll need to start it all over again if you don't collect the remainder of what the tenant owes you. Now, when you have to follow eviction through to the court systems, to a court hearing, you'll want to have all of your documentation in order. It's important to have your lease, your accounting associated with that property, and all of your communication and notices that have been made to the tenant. Now, make sure you document everything throughout this process. Otherwise, you will find yourself in trouble in the court and the eviction will go on for much longer than is necessary. Now, a strong lease will explain the consequences to your tenant of any late rent payments. It's important that your tenant knows your expectations and that you collect rent consistently the same way each month. If you have any questions about how to handle evictions or the process of evicting a tenant, please contact Ryan Goyer with Royal Gate Management.